It was one of those Lagos evenings when even the generator's noise sounded like mockery. Kunle, my husband, was sitting on the couch, eyes glued to Manchester United versus Chelsea, like his destiny depended on it. Me, I was boiling inside, not because of the match, but because he had ignored my jollof rice for the third time that week. My jollof rice, oh, me that people used to beg to cook at parties. I stood there, arms folded, waiting for him to say something. Anything. Instead, he said, "Babe, please move. You are blocking the TV." That was it. I felt my spirit leave my body. At that moment, I wanted to pack my bag, call my mother and say, "Mommy, your son-in-law has finally done it. I'm coming home." But instead, I sat on the bed, folded my hands, and strangely started praying. Little did I know that night would mark the beginning of a journey that changed my marriage and me. When Pule and I got married, I thought I had entered paradise. Our wedding hashtag was forever blessed. And I truly believed we would be smiling at each other like those couples on Christian marriage posters. In our first month, we used to hold hands during prayers, quote scriptures for each other, and even sing hymns together before sleeping. I used to call him my prayer partner in progress. But as months passed, real life started to humble us. Bills, work stress, traffic, unwashed dishes, and the most painful of all, NEPA. I mean, they would just seize power when you need it the most, and it was rather stressful. We began to snap at each other for the smallest things. If he forgot to lock the gate, I would frown. If I left toothpaste open, he would sigh. Slowly, our sweet morning devotions became "you pray your own, I will pray my own." And before I knew it, we stopped praying together altogether. Instead, we started giving each other the holy silent treatment. You know that kind of silence that is loud enough to make your heart beat faster? That was our new language. Let me tell you about one of the funniest and most ridiculous fights we ever had. It started with beans. Yes, beans. I had soaked the beans in the morning, planning to make ewa going for dinner. But when I got back from work, the pot was empty. I mean, empty. I looked at Kule and said, "Where's the beans?" He looked at me with all boldness and said, "Oh, I thought it was for me. I cooked it with plantain." My people, that day, I saw stars. I was so angry that I started crying. Kunle looked confused and said, it's just beans now." I replied, "It's not about beans. It's about respect." But deep down, I knew it wasn't about beans or respect. It was about the frustration that had built up between us. One night, after yet another cold war over who should take out the trash, I sat in the dark living room and whispered, "God, I don't even recognize my marriage anymore." That's when I heard it. Not a audible voice, but a strong nudge in my heart. Stop fighting. Start praying. At first, I wanted to argue. "God, do you know how stubborn this man is? I have tried talking, crying, nagging, even holy silent treatment." But the more I sat there, the clearer it became. Prayer was the only thing I hadn't tried sincerely. So I made a decision. Instead of arguing with Kunle, I would start reporting him to God. Every night, after Kunle fell asleep, I would sneak out of bed, go into the living room, and start praying. Not those Lord, deal with him type of prayers. Oh. I prayed for his peace, his work, his spiritual life, his patience, and for mine too. Some nights, I would just sit quietly, crying because the words wouldn't come. But the more I prayed, the more my heart softened. About 3 weeks later, something started shifting. One morning, Kunle looked at me and said, "Babe, can we start praying together again?" I almost dropped the frying pan. I wanted to ask if an angel visited him in the night. We started small, short prayers before work. Gradually, those prayers grew longer, deeper, and sweeter. We began sharing scriptures again. And funny enough, even our arguments became Christian arguments. He would say, "The Bible says wives should submit." And I would reply, "And husbands should love their wives like Christ loved the church." We would both end up laughing. Once we started praying together again, everything began to change. It was a miracle. The same man who used to walk past me after an argument now bought me suya on his way home. The same me who used to roll my eyes at him now found myself missing him during the day. One evening, as we prayed, Kunle said, "Lord, thank you for this woman. She is my biggest blessing." I opened one eye to be sure he was talking about me. Then we both laughed until tears rolled down our faces. Our home wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful again, and that peace was rooted in prayer. From our story, I would like to share some lessons and proffer some action steps for couples generally. Number one, prayer is not a backup plan. It is the battle plan. Don't wait until things fall apart before you call on God. Make prayer your first response, not your last resort. Number two, pray with your spouse, even if you are hungry. Sometimes we prayed with frowns, but those moments softened our hearts faster than any apology could. Number three, stop trying to fix your partner. Let God fix both of you. Prayer changes the atmosphere because it changes you. Number four, laugh together. It is only therapy. Don't let every disagreement turn into a war. Sometimes you need to just laugh and move on. And number five, don't pray for victory over your spouse. Pray for victory over your pride. Marriage is not a competition. It is a collaboration. Finally, know that marriage will test your patience, your emotions, and your faith. But prayer will strengthen all these three. Kunle and I still argue sometimes, mostly about football and who ate the last slice of bread. But we now pray before talking, and that has made all the difference because I have learned something powerful. When you kneel together in prayer, you stand taller in love. So, if your marriage feels dry, don't pack your bags yet. Pack your faith, your sense of humor, and get into your prayer room. Because the real secret to a lasting marriage is simple: less shouting, more praying. We hope that you enjoyed this story. If that is so, like and share this video. We would love to read from you, so leave a comment in the comment section about the lessons you have learned from this story. Please subscribe to this channel too. Thank you for watching this video. Bye!